Hi everyone, in this video we are going to do a simple web scraping project. The main function of this project is that it will save the blog title and URLs of that blog post in a CSV file. So let's get started. So the first step is to install the required libraries. We are using beautifulsoup, requests, and CSV library for this project. After successfully installing the required libraries, the next is to import that library into our Python file. Now let's declare a variable named URL to store the URL of the website that we are going to scrap. Also, we are allowing users to input the URL of the website that needs to scrap. This makes our program more dynamic. Now let's write a logical condition that if user doesn't input a URL, then let's print an error message. The next step is that declare a variable named response. The use of this variable is that, when we want to scrape data from a website, we first need to access its HTML content. To do that, we use the request library, which allows us to send HTTP requests. In this case, we'll be sending a GET request, which is the most common type of request used to retrieve data from a web server. Once we have the response from the website, we need to parse the HTML content to extract the information we're interested in. For this task, we use the beautifulsoup library. Beautifulsoup is a powerful tool that helps us parse and navigate through HTML and XML documents. To use beautifulsoup, we import it at the beginning of our code. Then, we create a beautifulsoup object and pass in the HTML content of the response as well as the parser we want to use. In this case, we use the HTML.parser. Once we have the parsed HTML content using beautifulsoup, our next step is to find the relevant HTML tags that contain the blog titles and URLs. In our code, we use the find_all function provided by beautifulsoup. This function allows us to find all occurrences of a specific HTML tag on the web page. We specify h1 as the tag name to find all the h1 tags, which typically represent the headings or titles of the blog posts. As you can see, when we open web browser and go to our website, you can see that blog post loaded. Now we want to select the title and press right-click and inspect. Thus we can see that it's loaded in h1 tag, so we can specify h1 as the tag name to find all the h1 tags. Similarly, we use A as the tag name to find all the A tags, which are commonly used for hyperlinks, including the URLs of the blog posts. Now let's write a simple logic to our code. What this code does is, it will first check the total number of blog posts available on the target website, and print the total number of available posts to the user. This allows the user to choose and save the desired number of posts in a CSV file. This makes our code more dynamic. Also, we can write an if condition to our code. Because if the user entered the post number greater than the available post, then we can print an error message to the user. We start by creating an empty list called data_list that will store our extracted data. We use nested loops to iterate through each h1 tag and each a tag on the web page. The outer loop iterates through the h1 tags represented by the variable h1. The inner loop iterates through the a tags represented by the variable anchor. Inside the nested loops, we compare the strip text of the a tag, anchor.text.strip, with the strip text of the h1 tag, h1.text.strip. By comparing the text of the a and h1 tags, we can determine if they represent the same blog post. If the texts match, it means we have found the corresponding URL for a particular blog title. When a match is found, we create a dictionary containing the title and URL of the blog post. We use the h1.text.strip to access the strip text of the h1 tag, the title, and anchor href to access the href attribute of the a tag, the URL. The dictionary is created using curly braces and contains key-value pairs, where the keys are title and URL, and the values are the extracted title and URL respectively. If a match is found, we append the created dictionary to the data_list. This ensures that all the matched titles and URLs are stored together in a structured format. In this step we define a variable called CSV_file and assign it a string value of blogs_urls.csv. This variable represents the name of the CSV file that will be created to store the data. Then we use the open function with the CSV_file variable as the file name and write mode. The open function returns a file object that allows us to write data to the CSV file. And also we include the new line equals argument to ensure that the CSV file has the appropriate line endings. Before writing the data, we define the field names for the CSV file. In this case, the field names are title and URL, representing the column headers for the data. We create a list called field names with the field names defined as its elements. Then we create a writer object using the CSV.dictWriter class. The writer object allows us to write data as rows in the CSV file, using dictionaries to define the data structure. We pass the file object and field names list as arguments to the CSV.dictWriter function. Then we use the writeHeader method of the writer object to write the field names as the first row in the CSV file. This creates the column headers for the data. In this step we iterate through the data_list, which contains dictionaries of blog titles and URLs. For each dictionary and data_list, we use the writeRow method of the writer object to write the dictionary as a row in the CSV file. The writeRow method takes each key value pair in the dictionary and writes them as values in the corresponding columns. Finally, we print a message to confirm that the blog URLs have been scraped and saved to the CSV file. By executing this code, the extracted blog titles and URLs are written to a CSV file. This allows us to have a structured file format where the data can be easily analyzed, shared, or used for further processing. Now let's run the program. Let's give URL of the website. Let's give our website itself. Now let's give the desired number of posts that we want to save. Finally, you can see that new CSV file has been created. As we open the file, you can see that title plus URL has been saved.